Before I even get into this video, 7 foot, you tried, brother. I know, I saw. Anyway, even if this tournament was purely a marketing strategy for Marvel Rivals, ignoring that most people on Twitch are likely already aware of the game, and on top of that, most of these creators have already played in tournaments or just played the game on release. The ones who didn't really play the game couldn't even showcase why their audience should give it a try. Like Sakura. Much love, but golly, I feel bad for you, because you were literally getting hardcore dived and 2-tap for 3 hours straight.
Real quick, can we do it at one time?
Oh my god.
Yeah, I'm going back line. 3, 2, 1, I'm on rocket.
Oh my god. Ouchie.
And this is actually the first major problem I have with this tournament in general and the balancing throughout it, because I've been watching tournaments in esports for well over 10 years, and I'm aware of how these events usually go. They use show matches and big creators to, you know, display what their game brings to the table. So I'm not mad that they brought on a bunch of larger creators, which a lot of people seem to have a problem with. To me, that is not even the biggest issue that I'm going to be talking about in this video. But again, how can you get new people to play the game without being able to showcase what the game is really all about? All the streamers that were new to the game got put on Rocket Raccoon just to heal bot, hold right click, and get slaughtered. I mean, the final match that should have been invigorating and inspirational was literally a joke, bro. I'm not even trolling, bro. Who forgot to tell Jinxie that you shouldn't try to heal the other team?
So DPS or vice versa? What do you prefer? We gotta get this whole lockdown.
And outside of that, the losing team of that match, which was Jinxie's team, were getting legit hardcore spawn camped for 95% of this time. I already play Marvel Rivals, and I'm telling you right now, I didn't even want to play the game after watching this match. And I know a lot of y'all are kind of like drones and you'll fall for the PR. I had so much fun, you know, we gave them a real run for their money, and you know, them telling their teammates, oh, you did so good, yo, don't worry about it. I don't care about all that. But before I go off the hating deep end, I'll actually give you some insight on what could have been changed about this tournament and what the community has been talking about. First of all, this marketing tactic doesn't necessarily work without big streamers. I agree with that. They need to bring new eyes to the game. The problem lies when one team just has enough experience to make every single game pretty much entirely lopsided, unless they literally choose to let the opponents have a chance, which at that point would kind of just be a charity match. So I think the first option would be to have everybody in this tournament be a big streamer and, you know, dispersing their skill evenly across these teams, but mainly having everyone on a level playing field of being either entirely trash or just decent. Like, your Rage is kind of a good example for this, right? He's a really big streamer, but he is not really a Marvel Rival streamer, even though he is decent at the game. He was putting in a lot of work as Door on the field, especially since this guy was playing on a laptop and I think playing with no mouse pad. But he had Jinxie on his team, right? And he didn't even really know what he was looking at half the time. He was just spamming rocket heals, zoned out, and just shooting Punisher turret down main. Rage can't solo carry his team to a win like Kingsman and Panu could. Like, they are literally sitting here calling this tournament a Kingsman Glaze Fest because I don't know, man. Either he kissed that wall or whatever. Like, he's just about to transcend out of Marvel Rivals entirety. I wouldn't even be mad if he face revealed and then flew out to LA just to sip Air One and walk around IRL streaming. I don't know what's going on. They are literally donating him money at this point. I digress though. Like, if this tournament was just set up to have everyone be pretty bad and have nobody that can just consistently kill 4 people by themselves, it would be way more entertaining to watch.
Wait, so Kingsman's on Magic?
Are they playing? Yeah, it's a campaign Magic.
I don't even know what I died.
That's alright.
Like, you wouldn't even have to display skill. You could just showcase that the game could be entertaining and fun, which is just as important, to be honest. Which is the opposite of what I think the other option could have been for the balancing of this tournament, because the other end would have everyone that's like the biggest of these streamers, like, you know, Rage, Sakura, Joe Bart, have them either be team captains and like play in the game, or co-host, co-stream, commentate, or whatever. Like, I think it would just be way more interesting if they had like 1 or 2 big streamers that weren't really Marvel Rivals players, and just put them on the team with 4 really competitive, good players. But the former is what Valorant and other games have been doing for years. Like Tarek, for example, the biggest Valorant streamer. Half of his chat doesn't even know what they're watching when he's spectating and co-hosting pro tournaments. But his viewers triple and quadruple when these big tournaments happen because the viewers want the ability to have somebody provide insight during the matches or just provide extra entertainment. Or Jinxie, for example. Most people didn't understand or care about Rainbow Six Siege famously until Jinxie made it look so entertaining. He was hosting 1v1s, 2v2s, just spectating and or playing, setting up tournaments. I mean, I only ever even tried Siege because watching him made it look so fun to learn, even though I knew it was one of the hardest games to get good at.
Mingo's in sight. What the fuck? Mingo is in the fucking objective. Stop it. Here's this. Mingo back on his drone. Stop. I'm gonna walk up. Stop it!
Because he would sit there just explaining the intricacies of the game, and even if he was getting spat on in a 1v1, it didn't really deter me from wanting to play the game because it was so entertaining. But just imagine if they brought on smaller, hungrier, local Marvel Rival streamers that could actually display great skill while people watch their favorite streamer react or compete with them. It just sounds like a way better idea than putting Kingsman, who peaked at rank 1, and Panu, who is another top player, on the same team. Mind you, an upcoming Marvel Rivals creator event that has a $300,000 prize pool kinda seems to be using this captain idea with big streamers. Putting Soki, who did participate in this tournament, as a team captain, same with a bunch of other large streamers from other different regions, also as captains. Captains of teams that will likely be comprised of actual good players. Also, for the record, I'm not just saying that Team 4 was hardcore carried by Kingsman and Panu. Like, obviously they were the star players, being the most experienced at the game. But they had Joe Bart, who I think peaked at Grandmaster, and Mari, who also played a decent amount of Rivals and has competed in other tournaments. Their team was just way more familiar with how the game works overall compared to everybody else. Like, I literally just saw a clip of Jinxie tap firing the Punisher ult and not even shooting any bullets out of it. Like, bro, they didn't even hit the practice range before this.
Push.
Yeah, go, Jinxie.
I'm ulting.
Nice, Jinxie, go.
Good shit, Jinxie.
Awesome.
Rocket low.
I don't think I've ever seen an ultimate like that before in my life. This must have been a world first.
A meat shield or something?
But up to this point in the video, I've been largely just talking about my personal thoughts and experience watching the tournament in its entirety. But I've seen the community specifically talking about one team, which was 7foot's team. Largely because he's pretty hungry. He obviously wanted that 11K from the prize pool. I mean, he's 17. I believe he just recently graduated high school. And I heard him talking about the tournament and how it went. And, you know, he wasn't mad at anybody. He was just like, you know, he had a shot at 11K and he walked away with 2.5K just for playing the game for a couple hours. And, you know, you can't be mad at that. But at the end of the day, nobody that truly cares wants to lose. But I mean, when your team has literal millionaires on it and Aramori, who has probably a decent amount of money and also has been pro in this game, and you're sitting there feeling like your team isn't even trying, it's kind of hard to be happy about the loss. And the community has just seemed to reach the consensus that his team just didn't care enough. And this is the only topic I'm kind of going to avoid speaking on just due to a lack of information about him specifically. And I'll direct y'all to go watch like Hukovi, who I think is likely going to make a video on this topic in general, if not a TikTok, about the tournament, right?
That was a money laundering front for the elite so the rich can get richer. That was NetEase trying to watch $150,000 of blood money. That's all that was. Now, let's just go over it. Let's just address the obvious thing. Kingsman has to be doing some sort of blood sacrifice rituals in the back of his bedroom to get for this to be happening to him. There's no way he's this lucky.
He would likely have a lot more insight about this topic than me, so I would rather send y'all there. But honestly, I don't have too much more to say because the only thing I can really do is get into specific players, and I'm not really here to get into, you know, hating or, you know, trying to direct hate or whatever to specific individuals, because honestly, it just not that serious, you know what I mean? Hold on, no, it is 150K. Maybe it is that serious. Either way, I appreciate y'all watching, and I'll see you in the next one.